Now, some communities in KwaZulu-Natal are still struggling without basic services. Tongaat residents say they've been left high and dry. eNCA's Heidi Jokos is there and finds out what exactly is happening there. Good morning, Heidi. We understand that Gift of the Givers has been part of relief efforts in Tongaat. How have they been assisting community members there?
Yes, I think Gift of the Givers have truly been assisting community members, not only here in Tongaat, but we are in Tongaat at the moment where this area has been without water for, if I could say, over 4 weeks now. It's a very big problem because speaking to the Deputy Mayor of eThekwini yesterday, the water waste plants have been, majority of them have been completely destroyed. The infrastructure has been destroyed, so it becomes a huge problem to have running water here. So you have water tankers, JoJo tanks, Gift of the Givers, of course, assisting especially with boreholes because the community is so desperate just to have clean water. Of course, it's not running water. They have to fill up their 5-litre bottles or whatever else they have. But we are joined by Gift of the Givers, Jalil Mayat. Thank you so much for your time. We do appreciate it. Just maybe speak to us about how dire the situation actually is here and how you as Gift of the Givers are helping. I can't imagine how difficult it must be not to have water for 4 weeks.
Its situation is dire. The Tongaat Waterworks has been abolished or demolished from the floods. Repairs there we're going to take between 6 to 8 months. The value we're looking maybe 700,000 to 700 million to $1 billion. Not sure of the final figure yet. Cleanup operations have started. I mean, all the pumps are offline, 11 pumps pumping up to the different reservoirs. There are some contingency plans in place from the department. They're tying in a water line to the airport line and another line to Mamba Ridge, which is Caesar Water Belito side. The one reservoir, I'm told, is filling up. Tomorrow we should have water in the pipelines for the people in the south, some relief. But after that, we're going to have all the attenuation problems to deal with: burst water pipes, leaks, repairs. That's going to be ongoing. There seems to be some red tape issues in tying in certain lines, but the departments are sitting together and working on that issue. If I'm not mistaken, that meeting's happening this morning. We should have further updates on that in the course of the day. Gift of the Givers are rolling out boreholes with the department to the areas that are not going to get water or going to get water last. So we strategically work with them and start replacing it in areas which will provide security, and then obviously continuation of the water, the boreholes and the treatment to what extent we're taking it. A whole lot of NGOs have come on board. There's water distribution happening, bottled water from 5 different nerve centers now. The NGOs are pushing the water in and coordinating between the centers. There's not enough bottled water to go around. There's a shortage of bottles and bottled water. The tanker distribution has been an issue. Finally, Doctors Without Borders, the department, have got together with the private tanker guys. They're going to start coordinating the tanker distribution as well as the JoJo tank deployment, as well as sanitation and health, which is going to become an issue in filling up these tanks and the flow bins.
Just lastly, before we move over to the community, maybe speak to us about how dire and desperate the situation actually is, because you are seeing some reports and community members saying that there's basically a war for water at this stage, and sometimes they have to buy water, sometimes the water's dirty, sometimes they have to get their own JoJo tanks, and the area is unable to have an oversupply of JoJo tanks.
The coordination, it is getting dire, especially for, the elder residents, the sickly. There's areas which are densely populated. Finally, everyone's coming together. It's a bit, it's what you call it, 6 weeks down the line. People are coming together to coordinate it, but people are desperate. There is not enough water to go around, and there are some health issues at the moment. People are filling up river water in bottles and selling. Tankers have been hijacked and pushed into certain areas, which communities coming together now with the department and the NGOs to try and coordinate that, to get some sense of relief, information out to the residents, and that help is coming, and just bear with us.
Okay, great. Thank you so much for your time. We do appreciate it. I'm going to ask my colleague Joko Mane to just come over so we can speak to a community member here, and as you can see, they are trying to fill up as much as they can to get water to their homes. let's just maybe speak to a community member here. Riaz, thank you so much for your time. Maybe just speak to us about how dire the situation actually is.
It's bad. From the 12th April, there's no water here. As you can see, I put my own tank. I'm giving the community the water here around here. And we're filling from...
Is this your own tank?
Yes, yes. No councillor came and put no tanks here. This is my own private tank, and I'm serving the community around here. I fill the water from Berlin with my truck. I fill it here and supply all the community around here. Gift of the Givers put in a bottle at the temple there, but that's not up and running as yet. When that's up and running, then maybe we'll be better off. But for now, it's difficult.
So you're obviously providing this this to the community because they're so desperate. Yes. I understand there's a lot of old and frail people in this area.
They got 2 joy tanks at the bottom, that's from the municipality, but they're limiting them to 40 litres a day. So with 40 litres, you can't survive with 40 litres a day.
So where do you get your water from?
From the reservoir in Berlin. There's a reservoir where the trucks fill up, I fill up from there.
And do they charge you for this, or do you just...
No, it's free, but the cost from the truck and stuff is my cost. I do that from my side, but the water is free. It's free to the community, and we don't charge anything for it.
That's obviously a community coming together. That's
yes.
Wonderful that you want to assist them. Yes. It's obviously coming at a cost, though, you're saying?
Yes, from my side of it, but there's no cost to them. I put all the bills and service the community here.
And just your engagement with governments, if you have engaged with them at all. We know that water was promised to be restored on Sunday, Monday, and still there's no water.
Yes, well, we're getting news from people coming and telling us that 4 hours time, 6 hours time, but nothing as yet. No confirmation to say guaranteed that water is coming. From the 12th, like I'm saying to you, not a drop in the taps, nothing. Not even an hour or so, and there's nothing at all. And we don't know exactly when the water will come. We don't know.
Okay,
so
great.
Now just carrying on as we can manage and surviving with what we can do and assist. But drinking water, we thank Gift of the Givers. They're also supplying 5 litres of drinking water, and that's keeping the people going.
Okay, thank you so much for your time, Riaz. We do appreciate it. Mfunda, as you can hear, I think the situation is very dire. Community members are trying their very best to get whatever water they can get their hands on, of course, clean water, because it's very difficult to not have that. Of course, no water running out of the taps, but they do have, for example, Gift of the Givers assisting, and this community member here, Riaz, just trying to assist wherever possible.
No, very dire indeed, Heidi. I must say, though, that NGO's consistency is very commendable. 4 weeks after dignitaries paid these families a visit, you have NGOs that have been there. They remain on the ground with these families. But thanks for that update, Heidi. We'll leave it there for now. That's our reporter, Heidi Jokos.